Mr. Roy Chum, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Mr. Venkat. How are you doing?
Good, and thank you for joining my series on emotional intelligence titled The Pandemic Battle.
Right.
Mr. Roy, could you just give us a quick introduction about yourself?
I'm 46 years old, Singaporean, currently working in Hong Kong for the last, let's say, 3 years, 9 months.
Okay.
I'm here since 2017, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm currently acting as a consultant for a Japanese company in Hong Kong. Okay, they are in the beauty industry, aesthetic business.
Nice.
And I'm not very familiar with initially, but I'm getting the hang of it right now. So we're doing well so far.
So when you say 3 years means from 2017,
February,
17? Okay.
7 February, yeah.
Now, this is the question I always ask all my interviewees, right?
Right.
If you can summarize 2020, the year 2020 in one word, what would it be? Well, that size says a lot, actually.
No, it's mixed feelings, I would say. Most of people will say that it's a disastrous year and things like that, okay, and negative stuff. But if you look at it on the positive angle, it's a new way to rediscover yourself as well.
Oh, well said.
Yeah, you rediscover yourself, and you know more about. If you talk about the millennials, okay, they are born in they hardly suffer any hardships or met something, or even us. Okay, when did we meet such a pandemic before? Never, right? So
maybe a short period of SARS, remember?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a very short period, 6 months, and then it's all over.
It was not this devastating.
Right. So this is really long. Okay, this is really long. Okay. End of February until like right now is November. Wow. It's more than 6 months. It's going to drag on some more.
True, that's true. We have no direction also.
Right. So we have.
How was the reaction now in Hong Kong of the people? Are they coping well? Have they changed their mindset towards this? Or are they still struggling to this new norm? How is it like in Hong Kong now?
Let's put it very briefly. Okay, I came back for Chinese New Year to Singapore around the end of January.
Okay.
And the pandemic have actually started in a very small scale, right? And I came back to Hong Kong on the second week of February, okay, which the pandemic have just started to erupt, okay, but not in a global scale yet. So in Hong Kong, when mask was mandatory,
okay,
everybody was already wearing masks. So the culture here is that because of the SARS experience that they have in the past, they are pretty, terrified of such pandemic. So you can see everyone is wearing masks and, purely everyone. Way before Singapore started wearing masks.
Okay, so they adapted to this quite well because of the previous incidences.
Yes, okay. They do. So it's I would say they are very, very
receptive.
Yes, they are quite, and they are ready to accept this thing. They thought of the worst, I would say. What's going to
be? So they were mentally prepared, and I will say the government also came in to do some kind of awareness to them also, right?
Yes.
Whereas, in certain other countries, especially third world countries, even though the government trying their best to create the awareness about this COVID-19, the public are still not listening to the government, and they are not even looking after themselves. Whereas in Hong Kong, you are telling me that they are looking after themselves, regardless of what the government is doing.
Right.
Nice. Okay. You, as an entrepreneur, what was going in your mind when the government of Hong Kong announced the lockdown. How were you feeling as an entrepreneur? Because you got a family back home in Singapore, you got a business in Hong Kong, but you were stuck in between these two countries.
Right.
What were your emotions?
Technically speaking, Hong Kong didn't have a lockdown.
Okay.
They didn't have a lockdown. Okay. They do shut down certain businesses. Yes, like gyms, like beauty salons, and karaoke, pubs. Okay. So people are still moving freely. Okay. And there's no. It's not like Singapore whereby I have a 1 month lockdown, everyone can't go out and things. No, it's as per normal, I would say. But it's just business. You can't open for business.
So how were you feeling then as an entrepreneur? What was your emotions?
My business was affected because our industry is one of the industry that was affected. We were closed this year alone. This year alone, we were closed for like 2.5 months. Okay, totally closed. And when it was announced, and personally, I was thinking, can I come back to Singapore? First thing, can I come back to Singapore first? But no, in the end, I have to be very, very, how do I say, creative during this 2.5 months lockdown, as in the shutting down of the business. Okay. So in terms of my personal emotion, is that I don't feel really panic or anything like that. I don't. Okay, I'm just getting ready. Right. To reopen.
You see, you know why? Because a lot of people let their emotions control them. So when that happens, they react. So instead of react, you responded. So that's when you responded, you became creative to handle these 2.5 months.
Right.
Am I right to say that?
Yeah. So one of the things that I did that because when you can't open for business, you have zero revenue. So I can't let that happen because we still have to pay renters and things like that.
Yes.
So thought of my mind is that I got no time to ponder over my personal emotions or grief. The first thing came in my mind: how am I going to make money? Okay. So
to sustain the business.
Yes, at least reduce the deficit.
Nice. Okay.
So the one thing that came to my mind is that I'm going to do online consultation for our beauty salon. Okay.
And how did that?
So it's something very new. Something very new. So initially the results aren't encouraging because everyone was something new. Everyone doesn't know what to do and things like that. But as time goes by, we did better.
Nice.
So, so we managed to collect some customers.
Revenue, some kind of revenue coming in.
Some money from customer, and we give a certain discount. So when we reopen, they can come back. And we promise them by this date, if it's not reopened, we'll refund them 100%.
All right. So kind of a guarantee was given also.
Yes, we had to stand on the part of the customer, how they're going to perceive it. I'll pay you, what's going to happen if you're not open forever, things like that. So I keep myself busy, thinking about all these ways and means.
Okay, just one more question on the topic, the word when you just said busy. Because a lot of that, when in Singapore, right, some of my students or the people I interviewed, during the lockdown, they were unable to move out anywhere. Right? And we social animals, right? Social beings. We need an outlet. We need to socialize people. And so one of my interviewees, she said she daily went to NTUC, to the supermarkets, just to get out of the house because she was getting too stressed. So she was trying to overcome this by finding a kind of an outlet. Another student started doing TikTok videos with the family members, whether it's singing or dancing. Every one of us needed an outlet. You said you kept yourself busy because as an entrepreneur, you cannot let your company down, you cannot let your staff down. Right. You are willing to put aside your emotions and think as a leader and respond. So what was your outlet? How did you keep yourself busy?
Physically or mentally?
Both. Actually, mentally is even more important actually.
Okay. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, Hong Kong didn't experience a total lockdown.
Okay.
Okay. So we are still freely, allowed freely to go out to do your things. Okay. I can still go for my walk and dining, or even though dining is very restricted.
Okay.
There's no night dining, so I can only order. I mean, food panda or whatever.
Right.
So I mean, the inconvenience is probably the food area that I have very restricted food available for me. Okay, so so it's not as bad as what people thought. As in, we can't go out. We can still go out. And I think this time as a reset for me as well. So I always step back and take a look. Okay, what's going to happen? I mean, this pandemic is something once in a lifetime. What's going to happen? Okay?
A lot of us were thrown out of our comfort zone,
right?
And that was very difficult to cope with.
Yes. Yeah, I just read a report like Japan have a record suicides of 5,000 in the first 6 months. So it's terrible. In actual fact, Hong Kong, they have a very high suicide rate as well. They do have a very high suicide rate. And for me, it's to always remain very, very positive, regardless of how
challenging
it is. Yes, it's easy to say. I mean, it's easy to say, I'll remain positive and things like that. But you just have to keep yourself going, isn't it? I mean, there's no other choice. Okay, either you give up, or you keep it up.
Yep.
That's the only one way. So I do not allow myself to go into that direction or give up. Okay, it's not in my character that I do that.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Spoken as a true leader there.
I have to say that, but I would think that it's something when the chips are down. Okay, you will see the true character of a person.
Okay, good advice.
Yeah.
On the same topic, you're talking about business here, about fundamentals and all the foundation. Recently, one sad story about one giant got shut in Singapore, 167 years old company, Robinsons. What's your take on that?
They didn't change.
Just like Nokia.
They didn't change. They didn't move along with times. And you see, managing a small company is easy. Okay. Certain decisions can be made very fast. Mindsets of an entrepreneur or leader or a boss is very, very much different from a working salary staff like a marketing manager. Or it's very different. Okay, let's be very blunt over here.
So that could be the contributing factor for them to close the gates, shut down.
COVID-19 just pushes them to the graveyard sooner.
Okay.
It will go down, but it just that COVID-19 just make them faster. Yeah.
So what would be your advice to SMEs, small and medium enterprises, entrepreneurs like you? What would be your advice to them during this period, this pandemic period?
Keep changing. Okay, moving along with times. Okay, and get some youthful and young workers.
Interesting. Okay.
Get some youthful and young workers to work. Even though, put aside the lack of experience, they can give you a very different point of view. That's something that I always encourage. Young. We are I'm in my 40s. I was born in the 70s. And times have really changed a lot. Really changed. Okay, another 20 years, I do not know if I can catch up. Our body slows, our brain goes slower. And
on this hand, everything's slower. On the other hand, the world is changing faster and faster and evolving so much.
So what we have is experience. do not know the know-how, what's the latest thing in, what the language going to use. It's very different. Okay, young people are raw. They have a lot of ideas, but they lack the experience. Okay.
So we want this to combine our experience plus their brains come together, and we can survive.
Yes.
Okay.
And I always believe that we have to think out of the box, no matter what industry or what trade you are in. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm speaking as a small-time entrepreneur. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Big company doesn't run the way way different. Okay.
It's a good message to SMEs owners.
Yeah, it's tough to be a SME owner. To be honest, it's really tough. It's not easy. Especially in Singapore, small market, and it's very tough. It's very tough. Hong Kong actually is a much vibrant market.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice message you have given to the listeners, and also to an advice to the SME owners. Basically, is to adapt to change, accept the youth into your company, so that they can guide you towards the evolving culture. Right. All right. Is there anything else you wish to say before you wrap up this interview, Mr. Roy?
Have you taken lunch?
Well, after this.
Okay.
All right. So let's wrap up. I wish you all the best.
Right.
And a better 2021, Mr. Roy.
Same to you, Mr. Venkat. All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Right.
Bye.